In this video, I'd like to go over everything that you need to know about the angles of a triangle. So the first thing that I want to go over is the triangle angle sum theorem. And that's actually something that you probably already know. So in a triangle, so let's draw a triangle here. According to the triangle angle sum theorem, all of these three angles, when you add them up, is equal to 180. So for example, if this were 122 and this were 35, and this was some unknown, let's call it theta, we could say that this is, in order to figure out what theta is, well, 122 plus 35 plus theta would be equal to 180 degrees. So solving that, we would get 157 plus theta is 180. So therefore 180, subtracting 157 from both sides, we get that theta is equal to 23 degrees. Alright, so that's just that the sum of the angles in a triangle is equal to 180. Let's keep going though. Alright, so now we're going to look at the exterior angle of a triangle and how it's related to the angles inside the triangle. So a triangle looks like this, of course, and then I can have an exterior angle. So we first looked at interior angles, but an exterior angle is if you extend a side. The exterior angle is the outside angle. So the angle between the triangle and an extended side. So we don't have to extend that side. We could have extended this side. We could have extended this side. So there are multiple exterior angles. So let's say we have this exterior angle though. Let's call it 4. Reason is the ones inside will be called 1, 2, and 3. All right, so as you could probably see, 3 and 4 make a straight line. 3 and 4 is a linear pair. So let's write that down. 3 and 4 is a linear pair, which means that they are supplementary and they have a sum of 80 degrees. So the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 4 will be 180 degrees because they're a linear pair. All right. But these two guys right here are called the remote interior angles. Why are they called the remote interior angles? Well, let's write that down. So those are the remote interior angles because clearly they are interior, they're inside the triangle, and they're the angles that are far away from our exterior angle. So we have an exterior angle all the way over here, and all the way remotely over here, we have our remote interior angles. Now, the thing that you need to know about the remote interior angles and the exterior angle is called the exterior angle theorem. And that states, let's write that down first, the exterior angle theorem. And that states that the measure of angle, in this case, the measure of angle 4 is going to be equal to the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 put together. So, oh, that's written backwards. Let's fix that. Measure of angle 2. So if I basically add or remote interior angles up, it's going to be equal to the same thing. The measure will be the same as the exterior angle. All right, so now that you know that, let's look at a quick example and then look at a couple more things before we wrap up. So let's say this is 30 and this is 100. No, over here is 100 and this is 50. All right, so that means that our exterior angle over here will be the sum of these two angles, so this would be 150 degrees. So that's what our exterior angle theorem is basically telling us. Okay, so now we're just going to look at a couple triangle angle sum corollaries and then we'll be done. So the first corollary that we're going to look at states that if we have a right angle triangle, so here we go with a right angle, the acute angles, so these two angles here, must be complementary. They must add up to 90 degrees. So I'll write that down. The acute angles in a right triangle are complementary. And if you think about it, that totally makes sense. Why? Because our three angles here have to add up to 180 degrees. That angle here is 90 degrees. So what's left out of 180? Well, 90 degrees is left. So that's why these two must add up to 90 degrees. Our second corollary is similar, but slightly different, of course. All right, and our second corollary states that in a triangle, let's draw a triangle here. That's a pretty lame triangle, but that's okay. In a triangle, there can only be one right or obtuse angle. There cannot be any more than one right or obtuse angle. So let's take a look and see what that means. So let's say this is 100 degrees. All right, so can I have another angle that is obtuse or even right? Absolutely not, because if I then added 90 to this, then I'd already have 190 degrees in my triangle, and I'm only allowed to have up to 180 degrees. So there can only be at most one right angle or one obtuse angle in a triangle. And there can't be an obtuse and a right angle, clearly. So let's write that down. There can be at most one. Right or obtuse angle in a triangle. All right. So that's it for today.